Hey everybody, this is Samantha with Crafty Chicks Corner, and I wanted to share with you a cute little treat box using the new mini curvy keepsake box that's in the holiday catalog from Stampin' Up with the tiny keepsake stamp set. And we're going to use just some scrap papers today to make some little tags, as well as the Let It Snow paper pack of the snowmen. So it's a specialty designer 12 by 12 paper pack. We're going to be using Bermuda Bay ink as well as real red ink. Now the mini curvy keepsake box, there was a larger version before I joined Stampin' Up. And this is a mini version. It comes with stitch tags of 5 different shapes: star, little circle, oval, square, and this heart. We're actually going to be using this. I think we're going to do, let's do the square one. And then we're going to be using this little snowflake die here. And we want to cut everything out at one time, so we're just doing one pass with the Big Shot. So we're going to set this over there. Now your main treat box, you want to cut paper down to 5.5 by 5.5, so you can get 4 of them out of a 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper, and you can get 2 of them out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So it helps, the convenient size helps for someone like me who does craft fairs and everything. You can get a little more bang for your buck by not wasting so much paper. Not that I waste. I do. I'm sure you all have your scrap paper piles yourselves. I personally do like little baggies with my smaller pieces of all of my colors, and I put it in with my big sheets of cardstock. And then, as you can see in the Let It Snow bundle, I just put all my scraps and keep it right with my designer series paper, so that if I'm ever looking for a piece, I can just go right to that pattern paper and hopefully find something that fits right. So we're going to be cutting this at 5.5 by 5.5. And this is going to come together actually pretty quickly for us. I like to, when I get something new that I want to play with, I like to actually use some old retired paper just to get an idea of how to work with it. So these are 2 of them. They're nice little cute boxes. They equal about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, height-wise, to fill the inside. But it does have this little buckle to it. And I'll show you what's inside of them when we finish up and see what we're stuffing it with. So we want to have this actually be the outside of our treat box. Don't mind my old crusty plates. I use these things till they break. I just keep flipping them. And then one day they'll eventually break and I'll have to use my new pack. But for right now, I am going to use it all that I can. You want to set this at an angle like that. And I'm using the magnetic base plate for the Big Shot, just because I like to make sure that my dies don't shift and I don't have to use washi tape with every single one. We're going to just do, I am going to do some quick stamping because it makes it easier to line up the snowflake. But the tag, so the snowflake I'm going to be stamping with Bermuda Bay on Whisper White. And then the tag we're going to cut out of Coastal Cabana. I'm just trimming off. I had the piece of coastal cabana was pretty big, and I want to get them all in one fell swoop here. So sometimes the plate jumps around. You just sort of have to find the sweet spot. And stack that over there while we stamp this real quick. So the tiny keepsake comes with 4 different small sayings as well as the patterns. We're going to be using the sweet treat ones on our tag today. And we're going to be using the snowflake. Now the snowflake, if you noticed in the die pack, it does come with 2 of them. It just makes mass producing easier because you can do 2 at once and run it through the big shot because most projects have more than 1. Like if you're doing a card front or something like that. But I'm just doing these tiny little keepsakes. And this is actually the first time that I've used the snowflake stamp, so we'll see if I can get it to line up right. I found some nice little treats. I was afraid when this first came out, I didn't order it. I just got it last week. And the reason that I didn't do it is because everybody was talking about how small it was. And I didn't think that I would be able to use it for anything worth any significant thing for a craft fair. So I didn't get it. Well, then I was in a Facebook group. It's just for craft fairs, creator people. And somebody mentioned that the Ferrero Rochers fit in this little one perfectly. I'm sorry, excuse me. And so I was like, oh, nice. Well, then I went to Dollar Tree, and while I was at Dollar Tree, I was looking around at everything to see if there was anything that I could use to fill my little keepsake box. And wouldn't you know it, I came across a few things that fit. And I am so excited to show you this. So here's our little square stitch squares tag. Here's our little snowflake. And then there's our keepsake box. And you see everything just popped out real easy. Pre-cut. The keepsake die is pre-scored. So this is going to make a nice little treat that's going to come together quickly. So for these boxes, to make sure that your cardstock doesn't crack, you want to fold it the opposite way first. And I actually did it backwards. When I was making the other ones, I realized how deep the score lines were. So I went opposite and put the pattern I didn't like where normally people put the pattern they like. So, but that's just my personal preference. So that's it. So you score it and then you just want to fold it back. Now to get the curve to do right, you can just do this. Hold your bone folder and look, it nicely curves the paper for you. And then it'll come together easier. You want to do it just gently. You can always go back and curl it more if you need more curl, but you don't want to rip your paper. So the DSP is quite strong, so I don't think you're going to have that problem. So you're going to bring together your, I did forget to fold this handle back. It's scored, but you want to sort of fold it back so that it comes together at an angle there. So you bring together your handles, and then you bring up your side panel, just like that, and then you fill it. So I have these little Ferrero Rochers. I was lucky and I got a 48 pack for $9 at Costco this week, which makes it about 19 cents an item to fill these little treat boxes. So I can really be able to give them at an affordable price at my craft fair. So then I take the other loop and I just come over the top just like that. So there's our little box. And then we're going to finish up our little tag here. And I'm using the Real Red ink to pull out the Real Red here. And I'm using this Sweet Treat stamp. The other thing that I got to fill this little box were bath bombs. They had these small bath bombs at Dollar Tree. Usually bath bombs are a little bit bigger, but these are just 0.88 ounces. And you get 3 of them in a bag for $1. There's some coconut and sea salt, some vanilla sugar raspberry. And again, so what I'm doing for my craft fair is the ones that have chocolate in them are going to be marked Sweet Treat so that I don't have to keep opening them during the fair and I can tell people which ones have what in it. We're going to take the snowflake and I'm just going to punch a small hole in it to run ribbon through it. So I want it to be sort of like off to the side there. And I don't know what ribbon I want to use. I sort of want a red one. I don't know if I have any red. That's a mint macaroon out of the Nature's Twine there. I might have some retired red. I have this really pretty sparkly blue though, so let's just go with that. It came in a bundle pack, I think about 2 years ago, where it had like a silver, a pink, and a blue, and I had just never used the blue. So I'm going to just feed this ribbon through both at one time. I need enough to tie a bow. And just going to feed it through the handle here. There we go. That was the look I was going for. I wanted the Sweet Treats to be sort of at an angle there. Sometimes you just got to zhuzh everything and get it just the way you want it to look. And then we're going to tie a nice little bow. Now, if I was giving this as a gift myself, I might not finick about the placement of the snowflake too much, but since I'm selling these at a craft fair, you know, I want to make sure that it has the best look and appeal possible. So there you go. That is, I'm going to use my ribbon scissors. I always keep a pair just to snip my ends. I keep them nice and sharp. I keep them marked with a little scrap piece of ribbon. And there you go. It's got a little Sweet Treat of the Ferrero Rocher right in it. And it came together super quick. If you'd like the PDF instructions and all the measurements, please join me at craftychickscorner.com and all the information will be there. Have a great day.